Welcome to PDF Liner Easy Guides. Today we are going to show you how to fill out Form 1040 using PDF Liner. Before filling out this form, check out the IRS instructions on their website. Form 1040 or U.S. Individual Income Tax Return. Using this form, you can file your annual income tax return. Make sure you have all the tax forms needed to fill out this form. For example, Form W-2 if you are an employee, Form 1099 NEC in case you are an independent contractor, Forms 1099 MISC if you received any miscellaneous income during the year. To start filling out this form on PDF Liner, click the Fill this form button. Once the PDF editor is loaded, you can begin filling out your tax return. Let's take a quick overview of the Form 1040. It contains several sections. In the first one, you should provide personal information, your filing status, and information about your dependents. Next is an income section. Here you should report and calculate your taxable income. On the second page, you can find the Tax and Credits section, where you can calculate your total tax liability. After that goes the Payments section, where you should report all the taxes that were paid during the year and calculate the total. And the last but not the least is the Refund and the Amount you owe sections, where you can calculate whether you get a refund or owe taxes. Once all these sections are completed, you can sign and date the form and it'll be ready. Now, let's take a closer look at an example of filled Form 1040. Here we present a simple case of a single employee with no dependents. First of all, choose your filing status, in this case single. Then enter your personal information such as your name, social security number and address. After that, specify if you received or sold any digital assets during the year. For example, digital assets include NFTs and virtual currencies, such as cryptocurrencies and stablecoins. In this case, we mark no. In the next section, you should provide information about your dependents if you have them. In this case, there are no dependents, so we left the section blank. Now we calculate our total income. So on line 1A, write your wages shown on Form W-2 on line 1. In this case, it's 50,000. If you have any other income, you should also report it in this section. In this case, the taxpayer also had a $25 taxable income from his bank deposit, so we put that amount on line 2B. This information is shown on the first line of Form 1099 INT. Other than that, there were no other incomes, so we left the rest of the lines blank and moved to the calculations. On line 1Z, we should add lines 1A through 1H. Here we only have line 1A, so we put the same amount on line 1Z. On line 9, we calculate total income by adding, in this case, lines 1Z and 2B. We get 50,025 and then we copy it to line 11 because there were no adjustments to income. On line 12, put a standard or itemized deduction. In this case, it's standard deduction that can be found on the left part of the form. In this case, it's 12,950 for singles. Next, we are going to copy this amount to line 14. And on line 15, we calculate a taxable amount by subtracting line 14 from line 11. In this case, we get 37,075. Now, we are moving to the second page. Let's calculate the total tax. Use tax tables that can be found on the page 63 of Form 1040 instructions. Since the taxable income is over 37,050 but less than 371/100 and the filing status is single, the tax would be 4,244. As we don't have other taxes or credits, we copy that amount to the lines 18, 22 and 24. Now we should look again in our W2 form and copy the amount from line 2 to line 25 to report federal income tax withholding. In our example, it's 4,300. There were no other taxes withheld, so we are going to copy this amount to the lines 25D and 33. After that, we should calculate whether we should get a refund or if we owe some taxes. In order to do that, we need to subtract total payments from total tax liability. If the amount is positive, it means that you can receive a refund from the IRS. If it's negative, you owe the IRS this amount. In our example, the amount of total payments on line 33 exceeds the total tax on line 24, so we put the overpaid amount on line 34. And if you want a full amount to be refunded to you, copy it on line 35. To receive your refund, enter the routing and account numbers and choose a type of account. In case you want this amount to be transferred to the next year's estimated tax, put it instead on line 36. Once all the information is added, we need to double check if everything is correct and then sign and date the form. To save the form, click the Done button. Using PDF Liner, you can also edit, sign, convert and share any PDF documents and have unlimited access to thousands of fillable forms. Learn more at pdfliner.com.